Well, welcome to this webinar for the Biology, Chemistry and Applied Science Department. My name's Nadia Callow Hussain and I'm the Curriculum Leader for Biology, Chemistry and Applied Science. We've also got Jack Royal here, who is the Assistant Curriculum Leader in the department, and Nuri Bahadur, who's the Deputy Curriculum Leader in the department as well. So we thought we'd take a different section of the subjects each and talk you through what's expected and hopefully answer some of the questions that you've sent in advance. So Jack, if you can move on to the next slide then. So if I start with the entry requirements, so for the A-level entry, level 3, it's standard college criteria for A-levels. You need to have a minimum of 6 GCSE grades, 9 to 4 or A to C, A star to C. That includes English language at grade 5. You also need to have grades in the combined science of a 6 or at least a 6 in your chosen subject with a minimum of 5 in the other 2. In chemistry, you need a 6 in maths. In biology, you need a 5 in maths. So those are the entry criteria for the A-level. For the vocational courses, you need to have a minimum of 5 GCSE grades, 9 to 4, including English language and maths to grade 4. So those are the entry criteria for all of our subjects in our department. If we move on to the next slide then, and I talk about specifically the A-level biology. So we use the exam board AQA. We look at different topics in year 1 and then going on into year 2. The topics in year 1 are the building blocks for understanding the topics in year 2. So there is a lot more that you need to sort of follow through and understand through that. There are 12 required practicals to do for the exam board that we assess as you're doing those, and then we have to send off that assessment to the exam board. But we also have additional practicals as well. So it's not about just doing those 12 practicals. You would then sort of have ones to support those and help you understand how to do those required practicals. And we log all of your skills as you go through so that you know where you're up to. So those are our topics. And the next one, Jack, the assessment of the course is done under normal circumstances with 3 exams. You've got paper 1, which is based on the topics 1 to 4, but includes any of the practical skills. Paper 2 is based on the topics 5 to 8, including practical skills. And paper 3 is the one that combines all of the work you've done over the 2 years together. So, and you have to do an essay question, which is worth 25 marks. It sounds scary at the start of the year, but as you work through the course, you can see actually how it brings your knowledge, subject knowledge together, and will give you that qualification as a real sort of biologist and a thorough understanding of the course as well. So that's the sort of assessment. And the textbooks, there are various textbooks to use. And we do have an online textbook, so you don't need to purchase a textbook beforehand, but you can do. There are a couple of other textbooks that we recommend that you could purchase that I've listed there, the number 2 and the number 3, if you wanted to purchase a textbook beforehand. CGP is also a good source for A-level biology textbooks, so long as you make sure you include the AQA version of it. So if we then go on to the chemistry, Jack.
Yes, I'll pick up from here. I've just got a question and answer that I'll just respond to now. So Amina's asked if it will become more difficult if you take both biology and chemistry. That's a normal combination for students to have, and we do actually recommend, if you do one science, to pick up another as well. So biology and chemistry go quite well hand in hand together. We also recommend doing maths as well. So either 2 of the sciences or maths, they usually support each other. So talking through the A-level chemistry, my microphone is a little bit quiet, so you might have to turn your volume up as I go through this. So Like biology, our exam board is AQA. Unlike biology, there's quite a few more topics, but it does cover physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and organic chemistry, which hopefully you're used to from GCSE. You can see at the start of the course, these three topics here are building on what you've already looked at GCSE. So we're looking at atomic structure, chemical calculations, and bonding. We then go into lots and lots of different organic and physical topics. And the aim of the course is to become fluent in the foundational ideas of chemistry as you progress towards higher education or university. So moving on the slide, you can see it's a similar assessment format for A-level chemistry. There are 3 papers. There are some topics that overlap paper 1 and paper 2, but there's essentially physical and inorganic for paper 1, physical and organic chemistry for paper 2. You can see they're both 105 marks and worth 35% of the A-level. And you've got a mixture of shorter and longer answer questions for both of those. For paper 3, this one focuses on the required practicals, which I'll mention in a second, and that covers just a slightly lower percentage of 30%. The longer answer questions are only up to 6 marks, whereas the shorter answer questions can be anywhere from 1 to 5 marks. For paper 3, you can see there's also 30 multiple choice questions. I think that's just behind the screen there. So there's multiple choice questions in paper 3. Paper 1 and 2 are just your standard exam questions that go up to 6 marks. So 3 exams at the end of the 2 years. At the end of the first year, we do this in all the subjects. We'll give you an internal exam that we use as your predicted grade for university. As with biology, there are 12 required practicals throughout the 2 years. We build on these practicals, and at the end of the course, you get your grade in A-level chemistry or A-level biology and a pass or a fail in the practical component. Most students do get the pass in the practical component. It's just about making sure you've got those skills, again, to help you to progress to university. There are lots of textbooks available. We'll give you more information in September, but there is an online textbook that you can use for free, so you don't need to purchase one if you don't need to. You can also access more information about the course on the college website. And I think that's it for the chemistry, so I'll pass you over to Nori Bahada to talk about applied science.
Okay, so I'll take over from this part, talking about applied science. This is a little bit different from A-level biology and A-level chemistry. It's more of a vocational route. So this is just a little bit about what BTEC say. We're currently offering BTEC Nationals, and they are recognised highly by employers and other education providers. And it just gives you more of a vocational route into science if you're not very academic based. So we're going to go through the couple of courses that we offer and how they are structured. So the 2 courses that we offer at WQE is the diploma course, which is over 2 years, and the extended certificate course, which again is over 2 years. So the extended certificate course is equivalent to 1 A-level, and it's split up into external units, which are examined, and a number of internal units, which are mainly coursework based, and you sort of complete them throughout the years that you're at college. So the extended certificate is equivalent to 1 A-level, and it consists of 2 examinable units and 2 internal units. These are basically designed for learners who are interested in learning about the sector alongside other fields. They want to progress onto higher education, but not necessarily something in science. And then the diploma course that we offer is equivalent to 2 A-levels, and that is a combination of 3 examinable units and 5 internal units. So the internal units are your coursework units that you will complete. And the diploma course is basically designed for learners who would want to progress into for a degree at higher education, which is predominantly science-based. So this is a sort of an overview of the units which are taught in Diploma Year 1, and some of them do overlap into the extended certificate as well. So the whole idea of BTEC is you cover aspects of biology, chemistry, and physics. So if you have a look, for example, the units which are taught in Diploma Year 1, you've got Unit 1, which covers all three sciences, Unit 2, which is practical and scientific techniques, which is predominantly chemistry based. Unit 3 is an examination unit, which again covers all three sciences. And Unit 8 is our but mainly biology based unit. So yeah, you cover these throughout the course of the year. And as I said, some of them are examinable units and some of them are coursework units. And then we move on to Diploma Year 2, the second year of that course. So again, you've got one exam unit, which is Unit 5, and that will cover all three of the sciences. And then you've got three internal units, which are your coursework units, again covering various parts of biology, chemistry, and physics. If you have a look, extended certificate, you've got the same sort of units, but just a smaller amount of them. As I said, it's only equivalent to one A level. So again, you've got Unit 1 and Unit 2. And then the second year, you've got Unit 3 and Unit 8. So we cover the same sort of units that you would, but just a smaller amount. What you see over here are some of the destinations of our diploma students. So one of the questions that we get asked quite a lot are, what are the career choices, or what can you go into at university studying applied science? What you can see right now, there's a range of courses that students can go into, anything from pharmaceutical sciences, biomedical science, nursing. Obviously, it just depends what you combine it with and what else you study alongside with it.
That's it. So if we go on to the questions and answers.
Yeah, if I answer live, Jasmine. Jasmine's asked, out of the biology and chemistry, which is easier? I would say both biology and chemistry are quite hard subjects because they are conceptually quite difficult. They involve a lot of different skills. So certainly in the biology, you need to be able to draw, you need to be able to analyze, you need to have the math skills, you need to have the analytical skills, you need to remember a lot of vocabulary as well, so you need to have good language skills. So it is a hard subject. Jack or Nuri, do you want to pick up on the chemistry?
Yeah, so chemistry is also a demanding subject. There's obviously a lot of maths focus, a lot of problem solving and analytical skills that are required. They are difficult, but obviously universities and employers do look upon A levels in biology and chemistry as very useful ones to have, because you get a range of skills that you can pick up. But it is worth being aware that they are tricky, and you do need to make sure you put the effort in order to get the grade that you're capable of.
Yeah, they're both facilitating subjects. They would get you into any degree course. So they are ones that will sort of take you on whatever route you want to. So that one's that question.
Pick up on the requirements. Unfortunately, you do need to make sure you do have the entry criteria to be accepted onto the course, and that is because the English and maths demands are quite high if you are to do A-level chemistry and A-level biology.
Okay. Answering William's question, which one is more interesting? That again is literally based on what your interests are. I mean, if you want to pursue something which is biology related, then you'll find biology more interesting. If you find chemistry more interesting, and you've studied parts of them at GCSE, so that's literally just down to what your interests are. If you like all three sciences, then applied science may be the route for you because it covers all three sciences and you get to cover all of that over the next 2 years. So that's just basically down to what you like.
I was going to add to that one, William, that as a biologist, I'd obviously say biology is more interesting. My chemist colleagues will disagree with me on that, but it really is down to what sort of your interests are. If you like the way the body works and you want to understand how sort of, biological systems around us in both plants and animals allow life on the planet to exist, then maybe biology is for you. If you really like those analytical skills of working out what chemicals work with other chemicals and, doing the sort of crunching the numbers behind it, as well as understanding the chemistry behind things, then again, that's for you. So it is very individual, really, as to which you prefer. How would you rearrange an equation is probably not one for this session, really, is it? You need to turn up to the lessons for that one. So that one. Chemistry, chemists?
In terms of the topics that students find the hardest, it all depends on your own personal ability. So, for example, you could have, if you're good at maths, you might find the maths topics easier, but then might struggle with the organic chemistry topics. Alternatively, if you struggle with the maths, then obviously you might find the maths topics more difficult. So that, again, that's a personal one for you. In terms of the crossover to GCSE and A-level, there's quite a big crossover there. We do build on the topics that you have looked at GCSE, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation. So we build on atomic structure, we build on chemical calculations, the bonding topics. You started to look at alkanes and fuels, alkenes. We build on all of these, look in more depth, and then start to branch out into more fields of chemistry.
And just to add to that, as they've brought in the 9-to-1 GCSE, there is a lot more in the GCSE that allows you to go on to the A-level as well. So there is quite a lot of crossover between the two.
Looking at the question, would some of the topics in applied science be taught in triple science at GCSE? There are aspects of some of the topics that you would have covered at GCSE, but in applied science, you take more of a different approach to those topics. So, for example, in the examinable units, you might come across parts of bonding or organic chemistry, which you might have come across at GCSE, but it would be more at an A-level standard. So yes, some of the topics do come up in applied science, and I would say there would be in your examinable units. Your internal units, which are coursework based, they take a different approach to science, where you're applying different theories or you're researching different parts of science, whether it may be industry or looking at different diseases that affect the body. So it's a whole range of things in applied science.
Okay, I'm going to take the question about, do universities look for 2 sciences for a degree in a scientific field? It depends what science you go for. So you would need to sort of contact the university directly about their course and look up the requirements. So that is very specific for different courses. But if it's a field you're interested in and you're looking to go and do a scientific degree in a scientific field, then obviously the more you've studied, the better. And to answer Branson's question, what kind of work do you suggest we do before school, as we're currently at a natural disadvantage to other years? It's a very good question. You will have had a very disrupted year 11, Branson, and we do understand that. We are taking it into account as we move towards September, and we are looking at how we deliver the work to you, taking into account that you've not been in school for a long period of time. In terms of what you could do, we have set taster materials on the website, so you can go onto those and look those up and work your way through those. I would suggest you read a lot about the science in the news as well. There's a lot, certainly with the coronavirus, and there's a lot of scientific stuff coming out there. It's worth having a read into. And it's probably worth sort of, looking to see whether you can pick up a textbook, a CGP book, something like that. And it's also worth just revisiting your GCSE work before you start with us in September, just to refresh your memory on all of those things that you didn't have to revise for an exam at the end, but, things that may well sort of come up as you start the A-level. Nuri, do you want to take the next question?
Were some of the topics in applied science? No, we've done that one.
The best,
What is the best way to revise for applied science? Okay, so in terms of the units which you would study for an exam, your teacher would provide you with most of the resources that you would need to revise for that exam. There are textbooks which are available, and there are other sort of revision guides that you will be able to buy, but there's nothing really out there that's sort of there. You won't get an actual revision guide for applied science. You can get workbooks that would help you. We'd provide most of the resources that will help you as well. But if you do have general textbooks such as chemistry, biology, or physics one, you can dip into them to look at certain topics that you do cover in them. But most of the things are provided to you by us. So yeah.
Jack, do you have a notion of the pass rate for chemistry?
I don't know the figures off the top of my head, but I'm happy to share those in September when we go back.
Yeah, I think we're sort of in the region of 95, 98% on the pass rates in the A-level subjects. We do ask, you know, because we have such high entry criteria, we do get the right students doing the right courses, so people pass our subjects.
Yeah, so nearly everyone will pass the subjects. Obviously, if we feel that you're struggling or maybe underachieving, then we will offer you support throughout the 2 years to help pick up your grades.
The taster work is for you to do through the summer and sort of just remind yourself about all of that. So it would be useful if you bring it into the first lessons, yes. Exercise books, because we're a college, we tend to think that you should be sort of working in a university style. So we would expect you to provide your own folders and paper and bring that into college. We're not a school where we give you exercise books for things to work in. For keeping practical work, we'll provide booklets and we do provide folders for storage for those, just to sort of help you in the process of organising your work. So no exercise books in that sense. Chemistry for marine biology, Jack and Nuri?
As I mentioned before, it does go hand in hand, chemistry and biology, but obviously biology is the crucial course to take there.
Yeah. I think the best thing would be just to have a look on UCAS website and see what the entry requirements are for that.
Keeping the lessons in one building, it depends which subject you're doing and where, which staff you are and where things are. But remember, again, it's a university-like experience. So if you were attending Leicester University, the university library is next to the U building, and the medical school is right next to the R building. So if you were doing a subject like medicine, you'd be sort of moving between different buildings at Leicester University. And similarly at college, because our buildings are quite so close, we don't sort of see it as whether the lessons are in one building or not. They're where they are. We do try and sort of minimise the movement, but you may well have to move between buildings for lessons. And we have built in time to the timetable to allow that. For biology, our internal exams, do our internal exams, practical results play a major factor in which university we go to? The universities expect you to obviously have completed the practical, and the internal exams inform us as to what predicted grades we can give you. This year, more than any year, really, we've sort of found that we've had to rely on internal exams. And so in this current climate, while the pandemic is still going on around us, any internal exam may well have to be sort of part of a prediction for what your grade might be. So the internal exams are really important. Jack or Nuri, do you want to pick up on the class sizes?
I'm just typing the answer to that one.
Okay.
So answer the next one.
Okay, and disadvantage if you don't do A-level biology, but still want to do medicine. Again, I would check with the universities as to what their requirements are. But from experience of students who've gone along, if you haven't done the A-level biology, you'll miss some of the sort of starting points of the lectures, because whilst they don't always put it as a requirement, you are expected to learn the stuff that you have to learn in the A-level biology. So those who have done A-level biology are at a definite advantage when they start doing a medical degree or a dental degree. But they don't always ask for it. They do tend to expect chemistry.
I'm just typing the independent note-taking one right now.
Okay. And will there be any assessments at the start of the year? We are building in regular assessments into our scheme of work, more so this coming September than we have in any other year, because we are aware, obviously you've had very different circumstances up till now, so we will be doing regular assessments through the year for all of our subjects, just so that we know you're up to speed. Does someone want to answer the laptop?
Yeah.
College?
We do have good IT facilities on campus. You are welcome to use computers whenever they're free. And in lessons, we usually encourage you to use pen and paper.
Yeah.
I've not heard of a teacher having issues with anyone bringing a laptop in. I don't know if.
No, I think the only issue might be for you, Caitlin, bringing a laptop into college, is that you may or may not be able to get onto the college network, because we do have to protect our college network. So it's only college machines that are allowed onto the network, or college laptops. External machines aren't. So even our personal laptops, I can't put it on the college network. So, you know, it may have a level of use for you, but certainly in a chemistry lab, where you're doing practical work, it's probably not really appropriate to have a laptop in.
Mm-hmm. So what's the next one? If a grade 6 and
Do you want to take that one, Jack or Nuri?
Yeah, do you just want to clarify which subject that's in?
Yeah.
So it says if a grade 6 is not achieved, does that mean I wouldn't be able to take chemistry?
In maths.
In maths, yeah, and unfortunately so, because the maths demand is quite high for chemistry. I think a third of the assessment material is mathematical based, so we really do need to make sure our students have a good understanding of maths to take A-level chemistry. Any assessments at the start of the year? There will be some baseline sort of assessments, but not a formal test or anything, just to see how you're getting on and where students are. And I think that's all the questions answered, unless anyone has any others they'd like to send.
No? Are
we done, Ceci?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for coming along. Oh, sorry, we've got another one here.
Are you at disadvantage for chemistry if you don't do A-level?
No, so we recommend if you do A-level chemistry that you pick up either one of the other sciences or maths, just because they support each other. You don't have to do A-level maths. It's just recommended you do either another science or maths alongside it.
Okay, so yeah, to reiterate, there are taster materials on the website for you to access for the biology and chemistry. If you're looking to do applied science, I would dip into both of those and sort of have a look at those to see where you're up to, because they do provide the skills for the applied science as well. And I guess if you have any further questions, do email through to the admissions team and let us know. So I hope we've been able to answer your questions today. Thank you very much for attending. And we look forward to seeing you in September.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, bye.